In this video, we'll continue with the inverse kinematics formulation for planar manipulator. We'll take a planar 3R manipulator, and in the previous video, we have seen the inverse kinematics of 2R planar manipulator and the MATLAB program for the same. The rest of the things are also there here, so I would request everyone, whoever has come to this video, try to go through the previous videos so that you will understand the context better. And these all videos have been developed as a part of RoboAnalyzer based online competition lecture series or tutorials that we have. So the slide that relates RoboAnalyzer based online competition is shown for your reference. Okay, so in the formulation for a 3R planar manipulator, so we have already looked at the forward kinematics planar manipulator. Okay, so what it means is we have a coordinate system, say xy, and we have a robot or a manipulator that looks something like this. Okay, so the angle, the first link, this is fixed to the ground, so I have link number 0, which is ground, then this is link number 1, then this is link number 2, and the third link is link number 3. Very briefly, I'll tell what is we'll call this as theta 1, the angle link 1 makes with respect to positive x-axis, and when we extend this link, the angle the second link makes with respect to this extension, we'll call it as theta 2. And similarly, we can extend the second link like this, and the angle the green link number 3 makes with respect to the extension will be theta 3. Okay, now A1 is the length of the first link, A2 will be the length of the second link, similarly A3 will be the length of third link. That is the typical DH parameter convention, Dennevit-Hardenberg parameter convention we follow. Okay, now if this is P, which will have some xy coordinate, okay, now to get the value of this P, so we can have Px as the x coordinate of P is obtained by A1 cos of theta 1 plus A2 into cos of theta 1 plus theta 2 plus A3 into cos of theta 1 plus theta 2 plus theta 3. Similarly, the y coordinate of the point P can be obtained as A1 sine of theta 1 plus A2 sine of theta 1 plus theta 2 plus A3 sine of theta 1 plus theta 2 plus theta 3. So if you're not familiar with this formulation, I would request you to check out the forward kinematics of 3R. This is what is forward kinematics. That means if theta 1, theta 2, theta 3 are given to us along with A1, A2, A3, you can determine the end effector Px and Py. Okay, now obviously there are like 3 inputs here, theta 1, theta 2, theta 3. However, there are only 2 here. So that means we also have another term which we call it as phi, which will be in this case the orientation of the third link, this orientation. And since the convention is like that, so here you can see with respect to the horizontal link 2 is theta 1 plus theta 2. So with respect to the horizontal, the link 3 is at phi, which is nothing but theta 1 plus theta 2 plus theta 3. Okay, so this term we call it as orientation. How the link is oriented. So for a given value of theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, we will get the orientation of the link. Okay, Now let us look at inverse kinematic. That is what is this video about. Inverse kinematics is for known values of a1, a2 and a3, which are basically fixed parameters. Okay, and for given px, py and phi, determine the joint angles that are theta 1, theta 2 and theta 3. So when we find out these angles, we call it as inverse kinematics. That is what is the definition, and we'll be doing the same. Okay, so that means what we have: a coordinate system xy, and we have to reach some point here, and we want our robot to be at a particular orientation. Say something like this: I want my robot to be oriented in this fashion, the last link. That means we are giving the value of phi as well as px, py, coordinate of the endpoint. Okay, so this is what we want, that our robot should reach there. So if px, py and the orientation are given, we can do some back calculation. Okay, geometrically I'll explain and then we'll do the analytical. So what is the back calculation? That I can orient this and I can walk back and I'll get this term. Now what will be these terms? I can call it as bx, by, or in some textbooks it is also written as wx and wy. Why w? Because w stands for a point known as wrist, like our hand wrist. Okay, some textbooks have this convention. They call this as point P and this as point W. That's fine, whatever you want to use you can use. Okay, now so this length is a3, that is what is given to us. So we walked back and we have reached there. Now once we reach here, now this boils down to a 2R planar manipulator now, because we have to reach wx, wy or bx, by. So we have to find the value of theta 1 and theta 2. That will take us there. So if I draw a circle of radius a1 from here, and I can draw another circle of radius a2 centered at this wrist point, so we'll have two intersections possible. Okay, so the first intersection what we have here, we can have the first solution. It can go like that and then it can go like that to reach the wrist point. So this is where the revolute joints will be located. Similarly, another solution, please remember inverse kinematics we can have multiple solution for planar manipulator, serial manipulator. So another solution is the link, the orange link can be shown there, and the green link, green link will appear like this. Okay, see the yellow link, the last link is still the same, the orientation is not changing, it is still 1 point. So effectively for given px, py and phi, we have theta 2 first solution and theta, so we'll get theta 1 first solution, theta 2 first solution and theta 3, which is same in both the cases, or No, theta 3 also will have a first solution because phi is given here, so which is the sum of these three angles. Or we have theta 1 second solution, theta 2 second solution, and theta 3 second solution. Okay, so this is inverse kinematics. So very briefly we'll look at the formulation on how to get these angles. Geometrically I have explained, analytically we'll see now. Okay, so how do we go about? Again, we have a point that we have to reach and the angle with respect to horizontal, px, py. This length is a3 and this point we'll call it as wx, wy. Okay, now temporarily you can assume that there is a vector like this. Okay, so it could have some value, whatever angle it is at. So obviously you will get the coordinates of wx and wy if you know the angle. So in this particular case, px, py, phi and a3 are given to you because that is what is the problem. We already know these values, so we have to find the value of wx and wy. Okay, so I can write px is equal to wx plus a3 into cos of phi. Px, imagine there is a vector here which has a component wx and a3 into cos phi. It is kind of a vector. I have a local frame here, and then if I want to get these coordinates, a3 into cos phi, that is what we do. Similarly, I can write py is equal to wy plus a3 into sine of phi. Let me write it better. Sine of phi. So from these, so px, the only unknowns here are wx and wy in these two expressions. So we can write wx is equal to px minus a3 cos phi, which is px minus a3 cos phi, c phi. Similarly, wy is py minus a3 sine of phi, which is py minus a3 sine phi. So let me call it as equation 1 and equation 2. So after this we have the values of wx and wy. Now using a1, a2, wx and wy, we have to find theta 1 and theta 2. Okay, so this is nothing but inverse kinematics of 2R robot or manipulator. We have done it in the previous video. So I'll just take the expressions directly because obviously I don't want to repeat it. So px py will appear instead of wx wy will appear instead of px and py. So we have a term called c2 which is equivalent to cos theta 2 term, which will be written as instead of p I'll have to write w now, wx square plus wy square minus a1 square minus a2 square divided by 2a1 a2. So this is the value of c2. Again, somewhere here we have to do a cross check whether c2 is less than or equal to 1 for valid solutions. Otherwise the point will be beyond the robot's reach. Similarly, s2 is another variable. I'll write sine theta 2, which will be plus s2 1. The first solution is 1 minus c2 square, and the second solution will be minus of 1 minus c2 square. So there are two solutions possible. That is what we have seen in elbow up and elbow down. So again, to get the theta 2 values, please remember to use a tan 2 function, because we want to get the right quadrant, correct quadrant. And I'm going to send the y term, that is sine term, either of them will send, and the cos term. So you will get theta 2 in correct quadrant. Okay, now once theta 2 is determined, we have to find the value of theta 1. So okay, to get the value of theta 1, so again there is a manipulation that we had done in 2R manipulator. Please look at those, some trigonometric jugglery we have done. So to find the value, let me write down here sine s1, some variable I'll write, which is equal to sine theta 1, which will be equal to wy into a1 plus a2 cos theta 2 minus a2 sine theta 2 into, yeah, instead of p we'll have w x, divided by, there was a denominator term in which we made few mistakes also in the last video, so please make sure you do not do copy paste like I did. a1 square plus a2 square plus 2a1 a2 cos of theta 2. So this is the s1 term. Similarly, c1 term will have cos theta 1 equivalent. Here we'll have, let me just write it here, wx into this term a1 plus a2 cos theta 2, and instead of negative it will be positive now, plus a2 sin theta 2 into wy divided by same denominator term a1 square plus a2 square plus 2a1 a2 cos theta 2. Okay, so we now have two terms for cos theta 1 and sin theta 1, so obviously we can find the value of theta 1. Theta 1 will be a tan 2, the y term which is sin term s1, and cos term c1. Now obviously here we'll have two values, s1 first, s1 second, depending on what you put in theta 2. Okay, similarly here also we'll have two terms, c1 first and s1, sorry, yeah, this is what happens, c1 2. Okay, so depending on what values you put here, so we'll have two solutions, theta 1 first solution, theta 1 second solution. Okay, depending on s1 1 c1 1 you will get this, s1 2 c1 2 you will get this. That is how you will have theta 1 theta 2 determined. Ultimately the third angle is theta 3. So if you remember, the sum of the three angles theta 1 plus theta 2 plus theta 3 was phi. So we had the input as phi, so phi minus theta 1 minus theta 2. So when we do this, we have done the forward kinematic, sorry, inverse kinematics. So we have inverse kinematics of 3R planar manipulator. So that means if we want to reach a particular point at a particular orientation, this phi is given. So this is wx, wy. So we have to reach that point. So it can be reached in two solutions. One could be like this, another could be like that. Okay, so these values theta 1, theta 2 and theta 3 is here for the first solution. For the second solution, this is theta 1. Please remember, we have to extend the previous link, then only we'll get theta, the second link, theta 2, and we have to extend this guy maybe somewhere like that, and with respect to that we'll have theta 3. If you remember, these angles will be still satisfying the equations. Theta 1 plus theta 2 plus theta 3 is equal to 5. So those angles have to be consistently obtained. So with this we have the inverse kinematics formulation done for the 3R manipulator. In the next video we'll look at inverse kinematics MATLAB formulation. Okay, thank you.